Rightio, well, it's official, folks. The V8 1VD FTV 4.5 litre V8 found in the 70 Series Land Cruiser is no more. It's been axed. Now, to be honest, this isn't really a shock. I think we all knew that this was coming, but it's official. Here is what we know. So basically, Toyota Australia has axed the V8 powered Land Cruiser 70 series and is working to secure as many examples as possible between now and the end of next year. So basically, they said they've called time on the big V8 after 17 years on sale in Australia due to changing regulations and community expectations. So basically, final deliveries of the V8 powered wagons, Troopies, Workmate NGX utes will reach customers by the end of the year. Sorry about all the noise and all the yelling. It's a bit noisy in Alice Springs at the moment, but you get that. So production of GXL utes will continue well into next year, with customer deliveries to be completed during the fourth quarter of 2025. So with the orders of the V8 powered rigs being paused for about 2 years, they say the oldest orders will be filled first, which makes sense. Now, what is really interesting to me, and I always wondered about this, but honestly never thought they would implement a manual, but that's what they're doing. So the 1GD, which is a 2.8 litre, will be launched with a 5-speed manual option. Very interesting. And basically, from my understanding, is that's to keep some of the old school players happy. Some of the miners, some of the farmers and tradies and that sort of stuff. Someone like myself, I'd probably snatch one of them up, to be honest. I've had an auto Hilux and a manual Hilux, both 2.8, and I much preferred the manual. I just like manuals. The auto drove well, don't get me wrong, but I just like manuals. So the manual 4-banger will enter production in October, and pricing, fuel economy, etc. will be announced closer to that launch. So they've also confirmed, which this is interesting, that the manual 4-cylinder 70s will produce the same 150 kilowatt as auto, but with 450 newton meters of torque, down from 500. So I think that's the same as the Hilux. My auto Hilux was 150 kilowatts, and I reckon 450 newton meters. That was the manual, and the auto gets to 500. I really didn't notice any difference going from the auto to the manual Hilux. This is also interesting that the manual will be offered on all models except the single cab utes and the Workmate wagon, and is based on the manual used in the V8 but engineered for higher torque applications. It's going to have unique gear ratios, a shorter first, second and third for better performance off the line, has a flywheel compatible with a 12-inch clutch plus a dust seal to prevent foreign matter entering the release bearing, triple synchronization mechanism to the first gear for smoother changes with a longer fifth to improve fuel economy and reduce noise at highway speeds. So a bit like what they did with the latest model 5-speed gearbox for the V8 basically. But of course the manual won't be offered with downhill assist control, and it also misses out on the front console box. So basically with offering the manual, they will just keep evaluating that over the next couple of years, because obviously autos are the biggest market now pretty much with any rig. But I think it's cool that they're going to offer that manual so people get a choice. And they're saying that it's a small market, but it's a market nonetheless. I just think that's cool that they're doing that. So it's pretty interesting. Since the V8 first came out in 2007, they've sold over 171,000 models with the V8 in it in Australia. And just for context, Toyota has sold around 346,000 70 series models in Australia since 85. So over half of those models since 85 have been a V8, even though the V8 was only introduced in 07. Well, anyway, that's all I've got for you folks, but pretty interesting nonetheless. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you were going to get a 4-banger 70, would you get an auto or a manual? Me personally, that news excited me. I'd go for a manual. But as the article says, they're not offering the manual 4-banger in the single cab, and my preference for a 70 is always a single cab.